back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking all about drugstore concealers. If you are interested in finding out what I think are the best drugstore concealers on the market for covering up those under eye circles, then please keep watching. Okay, so I have had so many requests to do this video, so here I am. I get questioned on a daily basis about what I think is the best concealer out there on the market. I don't think there's just one best concealer. I think there are several, and it all depends on what foundation finish you go for, which concealer I would say is the best for you to use. I'm also going to give you a little bit of a tip and trick today if you suffer from cakiness underneath the eyes, if your concealer just sinks into your fine lines and wrinkles, or if you suffer from crepiness when you put your powder on. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip to make sure that that doesn't happen in the future. Okay, so there is one incredibly important step that I definitely recommend that you do before you apply any concealer to the underneath of your eye, and that is to prep the skin. Use your serums, use your eye creams. I use Matrixyl 10% from The Ordinary, and I also use No. 7 Protect and Perfect Intense Advanced Eye Cream. Just a little bit of a dot underneath each eye. Just pat that in, wait 5 minutes, and then you're good to go with the rest of your makeup. Okay, so let's talk about the concealers that I recommend. Most of the concealers I'm going to show you today are medium coverage. If you are wanting a full coverage finish, I highly recommend going for a full coverage concealer and not using the medium coverage and building it up to full coverage. The more product you have underneath the eye area, the more chance of it going cakey and crusty and sinking into any fine lines and wrinkles and moving throughout the day. So definitely if you're wanting a full coverage finish, go for a full coverage concealer, and I do have one of those to show you today. Okay, so the first concealer that I'm going to recommend is one that I've used in a previous video regarding how to cover up under eye circles. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it up here for you to watch. This is the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age, the Eraser Eye. This is an amazing, amazing product. It now comes in 12 shades. I think when I first started using this product, it only came in 3, so it has got better. Still not brilliant, the range of shades, but it's a lot better than 3, which it started out with. This is the shade Light that I use. There is a lighter version of this now. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but I know there's definitely a lighter version of this now. It's £8.99 in the UK and $9.99 in the US. This has goji berry in there and haloxyl, which just smooths the under eye area out and just adds some hydration so that it tends not to go cakey throughout the day or sit in any fine lines and wrinkles. This has more of a matte sheen to it. It's not perfectly matte, but I would recommend this if you are going to use anything matte or anything with a matte sheen. If you are wanting to have a more dewy finished foundation, this one might not be for you, but I do have one that will suit those needs a little bit later on. I really like this product. My under eyes never feel dry when I have this on. The only bugbear that I have with this is the applicator, which is brilliant for putting the product on because it goes on so sparingly and so smoothly. However, when you've had the product for a while, I mean, I'm coming to the end of this one, as you can see. You pop the product on using the sponge applicator. Once you've had this for quite a while, it does start to go a bit cakey and gloopy on the sponge. And there's no way of actually cleaning this, so what's on there is staying on there, which I'm not too keen about. But the product itself is absolutely amazing. It goes on so smoothly, really sinks into the skin really nicely, and I absolutely love it. If you have a matte foundation or a matte semi-sheen foundation, this is definitely worth a go. It's such a lovely product. My under eyes never feel dry when I have this on. My mum's eyes sting when she has this underneath her eyes. I have never heard that happen to anybody else before. If it's happened to you, then please do comment below, but it's definitely never happened to me before. I think this is an amazing product. It's medium to full coverage and it just glides on and is really, really easy to blend out. So I really like this one. Okay, so the next concealer I'm going to show you, I recommend for anybody who wears a mineral-based foundation. This is the one that I always use when I'm wearing my Bare Minerals Bare Pro foundation. This is the Max Factor Mastertouch All Day Concealer. This is an amazing product. It's medium coverage. It can be buildable to full coverage, but like I said earlier, if you really want full coverage, better to go for a full coverage concealer. This only comes in 3 shades. Very poor. This is actually the darkest shade that it comes in, I believe. This is Ivory 303. Now, I'm sure they had more of these to choose from, but online it says it only comes in 3 shades. I might be completely wrong. This is Ivory 303. This is £7.99 in the UK and £8.99 in the US. It says it conceals and illuminates, and it has a matte finish. So let me show you how it applies. Now, very similar to the Maybelline product that I've just shown you, it does have a clicky uppy bottom which releases the product at the top. Let me show you the applicator. Rather than this being really spongy, which I thought it was going to be, this is actually really hard. I'm not sure I'm very keen on it, but the actual product works. Let me just show you how this applies. It's a lot thicker consistency than the Maybelline product that I've just shown you, but it sinks into the skin so beautifully. It's like butter. So you just pat that in. Sometimes with this product I don't feel like I even have to set the under eye, so if you suffer with crepiness because you're using a powder underneath the eye, then this one might be a really good product for you. Just depends on how oily my under eyes are on the day, whether I actually have to set. So I really like this product. The one major drawback of this product is there's hardly any in here. It doesn't actually tell you how much is in here. You can tell there is a lot less in this, that the product only comes to here on this and goes up to there, and yet so there is a lot less product in this, but it's a beautiful product, and I definitely recommend it, especially if you are going for a mineral foundation. This is a matte finish, really beautiful, doesn't go cakey underneath the eye, really hydrating, and feels beautiful on the skin. So the next concealer I am going to show you is the least coverage concealer, but it is so beautiful. It is the L'Oreal True Match Concealer. This, I would say, is more for a dewy finished foundation or a satin finished foundation. I have this on today, and I would usually wear this if I am wearing my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation, which I have on today, or also anything a little bit more light coverage like the YSL Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow foundation, which I wear a lot. As you can see, it's going. So I would definitely recommend this for anything of a more medium coverage foundation or a dewy foundation. This comes in 14 shades. This is the shade 2RC, which is Rose Vanilla. It's $7.99 in the UK or $8.99 in the US. Let me show you how this goes on. It's quite shiny when you first apply it. It does dull down a tiny bit, but it will not go matte. It's extremely hydrating. This concealer never sinks into my fine lines and wrinkles. It does say it's buildable, but I wouldn't build this up. This is a medium coverage concealer. You definitely get a medium coverage out of it, and it's very illuminating underneath the eye area as well. It's so beautiful. So if you have a sheen foundation, a satin foundation, or a dewy foundation, then I recommend the L'Oreal True Match. Really beautiful. Okay, so now for the final concealer that I use on a regular basis. This is the only full coverage concealer that I'm going to show you, and it's by Revolution, and it's the Conceal and Define. This is in the shade C3. It comes in 18 different shades, and it has a matte finish. So this is only £4, and a lot of beauty influencers do say that this is a direct comparison with the Tarte Shape Tape, which is really expensive. Now, you don't get as much product in here that you get in the Tarte Shape Tape. You get 3.4 mils in here, but it's a great product. Let me show you how it goes on. It's really quite a thick, creamy texture. And I've recommended this to a few of my followers when they've asked, and they've said actually they've tried it already and it does go a little bit cakey and falls into their fine lines and wrinkles underneath their eyes. I have a little bit of a trick for that. So it's a really beautiful finish. It's extremely high coverage. I use this to brighten underneath the eye area. So I put this in not a huge triangle, not like a Kardashian triangle, but just a little triangle underneath the eye and blend that out. I find that this is really easy to blend. If you suffer with cakiness or crepiness underneath the eye, there is a little trick if you are wanting a really high coverage concealer underneath the eye. So I use 100% plant-derived squalane for this, but you can use any oil that's suitable to use underneath the eye area if that's what you choose to do. And I literally put a little bit of the concealer on the back of my hand and then get a little bit of the oil. I don't even drop this on, I literally just touch the skin with it. So there's hardly any oil on there. Then I get a concealer brush and I mix that together. And then I apply it underneath the eye area. I find that way it just loosens it a little bit, makes it a lot more hydrating and moisturizing underneath the eye area. It does take a lot longer to set if you're using this process, but if you are really after a high coverage concealer and you find that your under eyes go cakey or creasy, this is one way to tackle that problem and still get a high coverage concealer to sit beautifully underneath the eye area. Now I've tried the oil trick in several different ways. So I've tried applying the squalane underneath my eye first before I actually apply the concealer. That didn't particularly work as well as mixing it in with the concealer itself. So that is what I would recommend if you're wanting to use this method. Okay, so let's just do a very quick recap. If you are wearing a matte foundation or a matte semi-sheen foundation, I recommend the Instant Anti-Age, the Eraser Eye from Maybelline. Absolutely fantastic product, $8.99, beautiful, really hydrating, really smooth and really easy to blend. The second concealer that I recommended was more for a mineral-based foundation. This is the Max Factor Mastertouch. Absolutely beautiful product, dries down to a matte finish, but it's really buttery when it goes on, really quite thick product, but it all goes very easy to blend out and it's medium coverage. The third concealer that I recommended was the L'Oreal True Match Concealer. This is more suited for a dewy finish or a satin finish foundation or a tinted moisturiser. It is medium coverage. It does say it's buildable, but I don't recommend it with this particular concealer. It's an absolutely beautiful product. It's $7.99 in the UK or $8.99 in the US and comes in 14 shades. Feels really hydrating underneath the eyes and is really easy to blend out. And the final concealer that I recommended was for any of you who wanted a really full coverage under eye concealer. This is the Revolution Conceal and Define. It's £4 and comes in 18 different shades. If you are wanting this completely matte, then don't put any oil in here. But if you are wanting more of a semi-sheen finish, a drop of oil will make this much more hydrating and much nicer on the skin throughout the day. It definitely won't dry out your under eye throughout the day. Absolutely fantastic product and extremely high coverage. If you try this, let me know how you get on. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please do give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, there is a watermark in this corner. If you click on it, it will take you through to my homepage where you can click subscribe. Hope to see you all again soon. Bye!